Okay. Is she on right now?
Oh, it shows as one. Okay, that's all, remember, maybe that was it.
Roxanne,
Join.
do I send these to you? I don't have to send them to everyone.
Oh, there she is.
Okay, you
Hi, Gail.
maybe an answer tomorrow and I can give you.
Yeah, I'll be around, I'll check my email.
Gail, can you hear us?
Okay.
It's on.
She's muted. She can't
Yeah.
answer.
I can't hear. Hey, Gail. Are you able to hear us? Well, it's recording. We're on. She's on.
Yeah, she muted her mic, so
Oh,
can't answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it here, he's probably.
All right, great.
So,
Okay, so continuing on, council has started a new Zoom session at 7:10. And so we'll close it out with this one. Moving on to 5G, receive updates, take appropriate action on office organization, FEMA grants and IT projects.
On the IT project, we finished the website. Hope you all have looked at it. I've learned how to get the video onto YouTube, so we're also on YouTube. And then it copies a link to the YouTube video that goes on to the website.
Really.
So, pretty neat. So otherwise, you all should look at the website, because it does, have the date, and then it has the agenda, minutes, and video. So that's the way it's gonna be structured, and then there's an archive. And that will have prior years meeting,
That's wonderful.
and we have the events. Under events is the calendar. I've updated the calendar. Today I didn't put in the holidays. There are some holidays, so I do need to put that in, but I got all the times that the office is open, 10 to 2, and all the dates, all the year. The meeting dates, and so. And the front page, when you look at it, it says announcement right there at the beginning, so it's very prominent. And then I just list all the current announcements and interesting items, these happenings on there, lots of. The letter that the attorney wrote, that was so good, of opposing the mud, that's on there, the water tariff. The whole water tariff are organized, and that's on there, so,
The election dates are on there too.
what?
The election dates are on there too.
Yeah, the election, there's several,
Pretty much.
the election deadlines and the information about what the qualifications that you have to have, and then the form that you had to fill out if you want to be a candidate on the election. So there's several on there. So anyway, I've had enjoyed doing that. It's my age, is good to use your mind to keep it forestall dementia.
Keep it
Thank
sharp.
you so much, Mayor Harvey, for doing that for me.
Harvey,
It was on the wish list for years. Thank you so much.
are the meetings gonna be on there?
They
On the
are.
YouTube? So from now on, you can go to YouTube. You don't have to go to here.
No, I had to get the meetings over here,
Oh,
put it on YouTube, and then put the link. So I do have to,
oh,
and unfortunately, this is the only place to
Trying to get that.
You know, we've been.
That's right.
We advocated for it for years.
Thank you so much. Just ended up black one.
And of
Thank
course,
you.
the people, the IT people that Don recommended, they're real.
They did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you.
So FEMA grants, you know, we saw that last email, they, I'm trying to get that picking up the ice storm debris, we got paid for that $7,300, but they owe us about $420. And I give them for administrative, and it's kind of set by a formula. And they asked me for information about, you know, the problem is you go through all this trauma and you get all approved by FEMA. You know, and their FEMA, their website's lousy like all ones on the grant,
It's good.
but they're, you know, all the people are real nice, but, you know, it would seem like, you know, FEMA's paying the money, not the state. And they send the money to the state,
That's
and that's the problem, and then that's a major ordeal to justify it, like, and already justified it, and then they come back with new stuff, requirements, and so it's just, and the state has Ernst & Young, a major accounting firm, they're just helping them drive, I think. To make sure that they do everything. Anyways, we might get that $400 one day. Oh, nothing on the generator.
Okay.
One.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor Harvey.
Moving on to 5H, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding upgrades to City of Hayes and Elliott Branch pump stations. Rush, you're right.
Good evening, council members. Great to be here tonight. So up for the meeting night, this afternoon, I visited with Zach King, who's the lead with PGMS on the necessary repairs that we identified last August at the Hayes Wood Pump Station, as well as the other ranch pump station. They made reasonably good progress. And on this table that I passed out, this year in August, let's see if Hayes Wood Pump Station repairs and maintenance. And this updated from what in the column E information that Zach provided me. I feel really good about the information that's presented on the other branch station, because he had an email that guided me to what's been done and what's likes to be done. The Hayes Pump Station, I believe all these projects that I've identified as finished or finished. There were some there like the just cleaning the side gates. I'm not real sure if that's been done or not. Hopefully, visit with y'all tonight about participating in a meeting with Elliott Ranch HOA representatives on Friday. I'm back here on Friday, that I'll do a section on the Hayes Pump Station. And confirm. The key here is the $all, especially at the Elliott Ranch Pump Station. Zach indicated to me that Steve Siebert, who's the electrician, really good water pump station electrician, will be out by Friday, if not on Friday, to change out the $all at the Elliott Ranch Pump Station. So I'll get all that confirmed, get an update to y'all to what's been done and later this week. But anyway, this is my first shot at this as far as updating it. I feel real good about the Elliott Ranch updates. I will confirm the updates at these pump station, Haywood Pump Station.
I have a question, sir. The document we received dated the 15th of August. Do you have a current list?
Yeah, the current list is in column E.
Okay,
And
that's the previous one, okay. And do we have a date, a proposed date to complete the incomplete status?
Some of the electronics,
You see?
Keith's gonna be taking care of that.
Who?
Keith Seaver, the electrician. On the auto dock.
What document are you referring to with the column E? We don't.
It's right here, it's on the 15th at the far right.
Yeah. Do you have
It's
this?
the far right, has the, oh no, wrong document.
I don't know.
Oh, we don't have.
Oh, we don't have this.
No, that's fine.
My approach to that, yeah.
We'll share.
But do we have a timeline for when any of these items will be completed? Because they've been incomplete since August.
Some of them have been, yes, others have been started. They've been working in, HMS been working in. Based on their schedules and, the activities.
Do we have a ballpark?
Little schedule
That is the next agenda item.
on the next agenda.
So on any of these incompletes, 1, 2, 3, 4 items, do we have any idea when they're gonna address them?
I will get that for you, it's in that to you. I do not have that information available
Thank you.
for tonight.
Yeah, you could, that'd be great, because August 24th, 2023.
Sure.
It's a long
That's
time.
good. 6 months ago, we're still 4 incomplete status. I have a ballpark idea of when they're gonna do it.
They're not, they're partially complete, with the percentage complete on there? If this is incomplete, is it not part of it? What percentage is left?
Place an auto time.
Well, like for the telephone's well number 1, at LA Ranch to the second page, the LA.
Okay,
And, they are meeting with, Lau to take care of it, Lau Well Service to take care of it.
I'm gonna take care of it when,
Mostly meeting with Pat, I think, tomorrow, but we'll get that information.
okay.
Are any of these, sir, if I may ask, the 4 incompletes, are any of these related to the water problem we had recently?
Here at Hayes,
Yes, sir.
they
We had a problem last week.
are.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
Are any of these related to that?
That was directly
It
through.
could be on the
DGS.
compressor side.
No.
I know we had, low pressures.
Right.
And the gentleman that lives at the intersection of Red Bud and, Harbor Loop, it's a high point. And I know that PGMS came out and made adjustments at the pump station. Now, I understand now we've got some issues here.
Yes. Yeah, well, here's what happened at my house. I was washing dishes and all of a sudden air just started spewing out. First, it was under very high pressure, then nothing but air. So I called Harvey, he said, call Zach. So I called Zach. Zach came by and I opened up my garden hose and it was just air. It was hissing like a snake and whipping around all kinds of weird. And so is what Zach told me. Well, it's not our problem. It's got to be on your end. And I said, what is pressurized under my house? I said, I don't have any pressurization from the meter to my house. And I argued with him, and then all of a sudden he goes, well, let me go check the tank. Now, first he said, call a plumber, wanted me to call a plumber. So finally he went to look at the tank and he said that now he remembers the day before he bumped up the pressure. But then it was too much. So, you know, it's like he bled the pressure tank and bled it for about 2 hours. And got it back down. And of course, a lot of us had to bleed our outside hoses to run it through the air. I mean, you should have seen my garden hose. So anyway, he seems to be fixed, but now we have a lot of air in our line. And some people have been complaining, thinking that our water is dirty.
So let's wait, a little off topic here. So we're getting updates on just the CA Hayes and Elliott Ranch pump stations and
I just want to know if any of the incomplete work is tied in to the recent events that we've been having with the water.
Okay, so
So it could well be.
it's possible. So with regards to the pressure problem, that's related to the pump station. It's related to the pressure tank. And the compressor that keeps the pressure on the system that's located inside the air compressor inside the building. I will check with Zach first thing. And we get tackle on what that problem is and try to get all that stuff. But this is more than one. I mean, there's, you're, you know,
There's a system,
customer that's having this issue.
it's a system that's not working right.
We'll check it out and first thing was that.
But if we can, sir, at every meeting, have a timeline, much like the GAP, this is great. But without having a status, this is a status update, but without having an end date or proposed end date, then we're not making progress.
I'll take care of that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, awesome. Is there any other questions from council before this closes out? I'll move on to the next agenda item.
We're gonna talk about Elliott Ranch section.
Pretty good.
We did, yeah.
Well,
Uh-huh.
now we're on the well.
So,
Next.
all right, so I'm closing out 5H, moving on to 5A, receive updates and social welfare act, proposal number 3 on country lane.
Mayor, if it's the council for pleasure, I'd like to open up the next agenda as well, to put all related.
Okay, and concurrently, we'll open I with J, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding the installation of generators for the city of Hayes and Elliott Ranch sites.
Thank you so much. So we have a table, a full page, and say. So let me kind of explain this. This is a chart, sale generated chart that has 3 different water projects on it. The city is working on. One is the Elliott Ranch generator system. There's a generator. Second one is the city of Hayes Tanglewood generator. And the third is new well number 3 at Country Lane. We're calling new well number, Country Lane well number 3. On January 28th, the city received a letter from TCEQ approving the construction of the Country Lane well number 3.
Yay.
And so,
128, right?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's great.
Oh,
So
it's more.
this is the last permit that we need before we can drill.
That was it. We
So we
had,
received the approval to
and
the.
that's what I put on this chart. So I've taken the 3 projects, and this chart is set up where it has the projects on the left-hand side, row numbers and the project names, and the elements of each project. The major elements of the project. Then also try to lay out a timeline, a
Yeah.
cash flow type
Perfect.
analysis.
Perfect.
So if it assumes that the council would approve tonight moving forward with one or these projects. The council wants to lay some, and we've been waiting on this grant for the generators. And from the last meeting that we had here, council would discuss, and maybe we go ahead and buy the generators, the city buy the generators. And knowing that you probably will not get reimbursed by any grant funds. And so I just assume that we would just track everything from now. Moving forward, starting in February and March. Moving forward with these 3 projects, but that's totally up to the council.
Mhm.
Okay, how y'all want to do it and proceed with it. So. Over in column 17. That's projected out, I guess that'd be May of 2025 and then June. But the total cost and the budgets. Able to this for each one of these projects. See that they're estimating turnkey installation of the Elliott Ranch pump station. I'm sorry, Elliott Ranch generator for $85,000. It's a very similar type budget, even though there's a few little different elements involved in each of the projects. So in the Hayes Tanglewood, but also projecting a total cost of $84,305. So they're pretty similar. There's some differences in the elements of each of these projects. Also, is gonna get that 85,000. That's assuming the contract work. The contractor, mainly the elements, main element is almost the generator itself, a thing called a switch gear. Which is a transfer switch that when the power fails from burning out the electric, storm, lightning strike, surges, things like that, that this generator will kick on automatically. And that power will be transferred to the pump station, we'll bring the pump station back up in service, and we'll run off the propane. We're proposing 1,000-gallon propane tank at each of the sites. And a feed line to the generator. And that will give you, depending on the load it's been carried, it can give you anywhere from 2 to 4 days. Power service. And that meets the requirements of the legislative law.
Is that equivalent to the 1 tank of propane, the 2 to 4 days?
At a consumption rate of around 75% of what's called load, that's the load, around 75%.
This includes the propane tank cost?
Yes, it does.
It's a turnkey job, so it includes the propane too.
That's,
Fill it up and
yeah.
ready to go.
It includes the propane tank and feed line from the propane tank, a pad for the concrete pad for the propane tank. Also a concrete pad for the generator. Now, Elliott Ranch will put the generator on an existing slab that's located. You're looking at the pump station on the left-hand side. Between that and the pressure tank, hydromatic tank. With an existing sidewalk slab that's large enough to fit that generator. At the Englewood report.
Well, I guess my thing is being an engineer and being a project manager. I guess I would like to see a bid sheet with all the pads involved or major items. To sort of estimate the cost. And when you go. And get the
They're
guy.
attached.
Also ready.
They're on 2 and 4 pages, 2 or 3 and 4. I have one question, sir.
Page 4.
Yeah. Two questions for you, sir. If I may.
Well, that's the well, excuse me, it's on page 3 is the Tanglewood generating system, and page 2 is the other. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, thank you. Thank you for providing the cant. Thank you for providing all of the detailed information so that we can work diligently on it now, so that we can finish. This is so helpful, very beneficial for us. I do have a question too. The contingencies on project 3 versus 1 and 2 is 5% versus 20. Why is it 20% on well number 3 versus 5% for the generators? Is it 20% because it's a bigger project?
There's more moving parts to drilling a well. And then also this cost projection includes plugging the existing well. So drilling costs have been going up pretty rapidly. Cement well, so allow a little larger.
No latitude.
You know, you see for that. Generators a fairly small project. There's more known parts, right, that you can do. Because you're not relying on a driller, you're not relying. What we're gonna do with all the drilling mud that comes out of the hole, really cuttings at the puncher line I propose, we're gonna use the frac tank. So no neighbors don't need any of the.
Are we fracking? Are we going to be fracking to that?
Frac.
Okay, not fracking.
It's one of those roll off
Alright,
tanks,
like what are
pretty
they?
large. They're like 4 to 60 dumpsters, about 60 dumpsters inside.
Oh,
It's a large tank, so we contain all that and we have to haul that off. Those are the problem. So there's just some more moving parts, so.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I know that it is important to get the generators. I know that we also have, on the other hand, we'd like to be funded, grant funded for some of this work. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think the most important thing is to get our second well up and running here. Because we're on a wing and a prayer. If anything should go down with our prayer, we'll be trucking in water at a very astronomical expense. So would you agree that prioritizing the well, the Country Lane well is a higher priority than the generators at this point? I know we're gonna do all three, but we are playing beat the clock in hopes that we'll get some grant funding.
Wasn't that what we voted on last month, though, if the,
One is 191,000. We have a combination of.
But as far as the
wanted to
gen-
do ours.
but if the,
Let me,
what I remember about us voting on last month regarding the generators is to do, you know, to get the 4-month approval and then begin that. That's what I thought that. To proceed with this and to ask Don to give us an itemized list. And, you know, that's what we have here. Could you possibly advise us, especially when it comes to the well, are we at the stage where we can hire a driller? And could you submit us a few names and places that we could vote on? Just to get that rolling.
so let's kind of start at the beginning on the question there.
Okay.
So for the 2 generator projects, it still requires a TCEQ approval from the Water Supply Commission.
Right.
I'd recommend that the council authorize us to go ahead and it's a couple of plan sheets,
Mhm.
cover letter, forms to fill out, and get that process started.
Okay.
It's not a real expensive thing, a couple $1,000s, but that would go, that will take maybe 4 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks to get that final approval. You did get the approval on January 27th from the TCEQ for the web.
January 27th, that's.
Now, that project, I'm projecting is gonna be in that 190-something thousand range.
Mhm.
It could be a lot cheaper, could be more expensive, no doubt about it.
20%.
You don't want your engineer to be low bidder,
That's right.
right? You want your
That's
engineer to
right.
be the high bidder, right? So for planning purposes. So it's how you wanna handle the contract. So drilling costs is gonna be north of $100,000. Drill the well. And that's a driller, it's not like a Syntex or Texas Water. If the council wants to move forward with it, the first step is to advertise for a drilling company. And then there'll be a well service company that will hook it all up. The well to the electricity over, and get the well operational. Then we have to do a 36-hour pump test. Now, that pump test, I'm not probably using for that tank, good. That's required by TCEQ, which at the end of that pump test will take water quality and bacteriological sampling on the well, water well. So it's got a lot of moving parts on that end. So there's several consultants involved, companies involved, who like this to do the pump test. So I can orchestrate all that. You can hire a firm to orchestrate all that. But it's more than $50,000. And I think the $50,000 is a limit under the government code that you have to have competitive bids.
I'm not sure.
50,000 for the drilling,
For all 3
for all
projects.
3.
In other words, they're all more than 50,000, but the generator, y'all visiting about buying those. So now you drop the installation part below 50, private project below 50. We can just hire Keith Siebert or hire Pat Lounge Services to pour the concrete, things like that. They're gonna have a little more flexibility. The well itself is a much larger project. The biggest chunk is drilling, completion. The next biggest chunk is all testing that has to be performed. And then the third is the tie it all together, plumbing wise and electrical wise.
Drilling is 30,000 according to your estimate. $30,000 is the drilling fee. Is what your estimate is?
It's around that.
Drill a 9-inch borehole. So are we on the same project?
On page 4.
Right. So drilling is $30,000.
Right, but you've got mobilization to pay, reaming the holes out. Fitting the case and sealing it in place, all.
All
part of the-
together.
Don, I know that you have been in the water business and the engineering
Been long.
business for so long. Don't retire yet, please. Should we ask you to come up with some names and prices of the driller and the engineer and the whole apparatus to get it started, or should we put out an RFQ to get that, you know, to advertise?
Going to do professional services contracts require an RFQ.
Okay, sorry, is that what you were gonna say? We have to publish?
We're required to do
The government.
an RFP,
Right.
an RFP. I
Okay.
mean, we're required to do that.
But can we like publish the RFP and then have Don come kind of following along with some names of people he's talked to, so we can get an idea of the cost that they would charge you?
Sure. So what I recommended the council. I packaged it, the three major water projects that you have together, is authorized me to submit the plans and specifications to the TCEQ for the Elliott Ranch Pump Station generator, the Ace Pump Station generator, and for advertisement for bids for drillers.
Okay,
That's the
Yes, and
first step.
advertising.
That will start then organizing and the big project, the drilling project, the well project, moving that project forward.
Okay.
And that way it starts then moving forward, but you know, again, if you want to wait on a grant for the generators, whatever, it's flexible, right? However you want to see.
okay.
But we do need to get approval from the TCEQ for the generators. That's a low cost thing. I'm glad to do that. Get that going.
That sounds like a good plan, so we can start on the generator process with that permit. And then also get started with trying to find a driller and narrow down the cost of.
Right, advertise for bids. Because drillers are out 3 or 4 months. You know, in terms of
Right,
jobs they've got in front.
I'll bet there.
the electrical.
I mean, the driller's just gonna dig the hole, he's not gonna do the foundations or any of the extra tasks.
They're going through this shooting slab.
So the slab is gonna have to be replaced before they drill it,
No, that's the last thing to do.
that's what I mean, so
This
the driller's gonna be turnkey, and he's gonna have subs to do that work. What I'm trying to say is the driller gonna hire the subs to do the rest of the work that he's, you know, the concrete work and other work.
Probably not. So there's two main steps. There's the drilling process, right? And drill out the well, get it ready to go, set casing, cement the casing in place, the cementing outside. It's a confidence of the casing and the wall, or wall. And doing all the cleanup on the well, which is generally a 24-hour day process. It's to blow out the cuttings and the foam that's used and everything else. Clean the well up. Set it, and then we'll purchase, the driller will purchase the pumping motor. They'll set that motor. That pumping motor in the hole will do the 36-hour pump test. That's your pumping motor, you're paying for it. That's gonna be the final motor in the project motor, motor that's gonna be in the hole.
So the pumping motor is gonna have to have specifications that you can improve, if it's the correct pumping motor, the quality pumping motor that's gonna be put into this, be placed in there.
That's correct. I'm expecting a 90 gallon per minute pumping motor, a certain head requirement.
Hmm.
And the driller will purchase that.
As part of this bid,
It's set,
part of this bid.
right? And as part of his bid, he'll provide, we have power out there, so probably gonna lay an overground electric line and pull the power off the current box and run the pumping motor.
Right.
So you don't have to have generator costs. The power generator you had by rented it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Gas or diesel generator, but we don't have to have that. That would be part of the drilling package.
Okay,
And then there's one other package, and that's kind of plumbing the wellhead out. Once we can do the pump test, everything looks good. We gotta meet the wellhead, with a flow meter, blow off valves on it, hot sampling points on it. We don't chlorinate at the wellhead, we chlorinate at the tank where the water goes in the tank, so we don't have a chlorination system over it. But then we gotta plumb all that together, put the conduits in, I'll do it. And that's roughly 40 or 50 feet from the wellhead to the pipe that goes to the pump station. It's about a 40 foot, so that's a second contract. And it's fairly small compared to drilling.
Right, right. But what I'm trying to get my rep in is that the driller is gonna do a certain amount of text to get the hole done and ream it out and everything else. And then we're gonna come up with another contract for the electrician or contractor for the farm and the slab. It needs, so it'll be a separate sub working under the driller, or we're gonna have to hire a separate contract.
There'll be
That would be-
multiple primes, no sub to the prime.
Or-
There'll be multiple primes, no subs to the prime. I have one question for you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
If all goes well with this process, have you factored in sufficient time for the event, in the event of any delays with any of these moving parts? By this chart, is this correct? We should have this, the well up and running, working by December 2024.
That's the.
Is this correct?
This man. Yeah, you noticed on the,
Did we add buffers of time in the event of any delays along the way? Does that would push us into
the main
2025?
delay on this will be getting the contractor on site. Once we hire the contractor, the driller is what his or her lead time is to put a drilling rig out on site. And they're a drilling rig on site. And those, the ones I'm doing now for other clients is 3 to 4 months.
I would recommend that we move the Gantt chart to give a more accurate reflection of the work to be completed, because it says that we're gonna prepare contracts in February and March. In reality, we're mid in February already. So we would need to add a 90-day to 120-day timeline for that, which would be early May, and then bump the project all the way down to
We might can be
Complete.
quicker than that
February.
if we get the RFQ and
RFP, but there'll be multiple.
where could we publish the RFQ?
Hayes, East Street Press.
The Hayes Street Press?
City paper.
Yes, it just needs to be.
What about the Texas Friendly?
I know a lot of drillers, so we'll list about 20 drillers.
Okay,
Central Texas.
so we'll publish the RFQ and then you can give us some names and prices.
Yeah, and how we'll do the contract advertisement. It would be the lowest, best, most qualified. They're drillers and they're people that dig holes,
That's right.
okay?
That's right. There's a big
We
difference.
want to be kind of careful.
We'll require
It may not be the low
references.
bid, but you want to really,
We want best value. We're not looking for low bid, we're looking for
some
best
drillers
value.
will not drill public works supply.
Yeah. Well, we've been relying on you to kind of steer us into.
But we want to follow the government code in terms of how it's advertised, so everything is right.
Mr. Davis has a question.
I think you're asking the council to give you the authority to push the 2 projects that you can do both at once, and one is the paperwork for getting approval on the generator.
Right.
The second is needed right away is the RFP for the drill.
Yes.
And then next meeting, hopefully all that's done, and at some time the council might set up a committee to evaluate those responses on the RFP for selection, do the scoring and all that stuff. And the council could form the committee tonight, or they could wait till next meeting, because the replies and everything are, you know, the deadline's not gonna be before the next meeting.
Right, right. Yep. Sounds like.
And that's, and is there anything else that you're asking?
That's basically it.
Okay,
And it's a commitment of resources and funds, and they're grouped together as they kind of present. The generator project and the drill. But the council how you want to do for.
and I will check the budget to make sure we have budgeted these amounts of these updated cost figures.
Yeah.
And if not, then next meeting, I'll put an agenda item to them in the budget.
For the record, though, I'm projecting budget wise that both the generator projects through start to finish and the well number 3 start to finish at $360,346.
Wow.
So it's a major project for the city.
It's $250,000 big.
The biggest of that is the drilling, is the well. We do really keep the costs down, but so hopefully again, I'm not the low bidder.
Yeah.
Lydia,
That makes sense.
you had a question?
Yes, and which of the 2 generator stations are we going to begin with? Elliott Ranch or Tanglewood?
But we get permission to do both of them and, no,
No, we just want to do both.
we do,
And all at the same time.
Yeah.
but right now he's gonna get permission. To get all the plans ready so TCQ can approve them, and then he's gonna come back and then we can let it out for bids or
Yeah,
do the proposal for that.
It's a lot longer time to do it.
Lydia, and then
Me.
Roxanne.
Oh, wait, go ahead.
Okay, who's gonna submit the RFQ for the Hayes
RFP.
well, yeah, the RFP for the pastry press. I mean, how do we write? Can you do that now?
Yes. I'll handle all the advertisements and all the notices to the, like, be published in the paperwork with Cynthia.
Okay,
There's a cost with that, $3.
thank you. Thank
Or
you.
so to get us to the point where we can advertise for the drillers and open bids. We bring all that back to the committee, but also to finally come to the council for approval.
Okay.
With recommendations, our company ABCD to do the drilling project. And these are the requirements of that project.
Thank you so much.
Well done, just to make sure we understand that's gonna be, we're in the middle of an election cycle as well. So we have some changes. What's the timeline for that?
Changes for.
In seats, in council seats, or?
We'll do it.
Leadership.
Prove it.
Once you say go, we go, and if the next council wants to stop, we say stop.
Yeah, but it would have to be a majority, which is
Right.
maybe unlikely. So here's the deal. Let's get done, started at least on the site plans. And if we bid out the generators, we at least can see the bids before, right? We don't have to move forward if we don't have the bids right. At least we would know what that true cost is at this point in time. It can change later on. But we get a true cost, and then we really need to get moving forward with the well. We've been waiting for the well. That needs to get going.
The well is the,
Yeah. So
yeah, the other part.
we can get to a point with the generators and say stop if we don't like it. But we need to get him started
Yeah.
on the site plans and approvals and at least.
Right, that's-
I'd like to follow him.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yep. If is everyone done discussing? Okay. Okay,
I'd like to file a motion that we, I don't want to say allow, but authorize,
Yeah.
correct? Authorize Dawn to begin the process according to the Gantt chart, that we get the bids, the PSNE, is that correct? The
That we
PSNE,
advertise for bids for drilling drilling well number 3.
And also the approval, the
TCEQ approval,
permits,
started on
the
that.
permit process, to initiate the TCEQ permit process
For the generator,
for the generators, both generator projects.
that's correct.
Okay. I second that motion.
motion has been made, motion has been second.
If I may.
Vote.
One thing also, and if we may, Don, if we can have a correct, a revised Gantt chart to allow for the updates, because we're already mid-February, to make a more accurate timeline. Looks like we'll be going into early next year at best, by maybe February next year, complete the
Projected May of next.
the new well.
Yeah, but I'm sure this is gonna.
No, for the well,
change as we
for
get
the well.
into- Change.
Yeah.
Yeah, once,
So we can have accurate ones at next visit, next council meeting.
I think a better accurate Gantt chart will occur once we get the,
Driller.
once we get the bids and award
Send it
the contract, and then we'll get us,
Right.
and we put so many days in the contract that he has to be done, and then,
Not to
Whatever.
see.
middle of,
That's correct.
motion, so all in favor?
Thank you so much.
We need water. It's been a process.
Yeah.
This is leaps and bounds, moving forward, leaps and bounds. Thank you so much.
Great. We've been waiting.
Very productive meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Harvey.
Yeah.
I'm finished.
Mayor Harvey raised enough money for our summit to pay for the other, with just our textbook funds.
Just an interest.
Just an interest alone is gonna help us pay for this.
No, we wish.
Right, so
11 years. 3 years.
moving on to our last agenda item, agenda 5K, discuss and take appropriate action regarding
Thank you, Don.
May 4th, 2023 election.
Election.
Nothing to report. Unless
Nothing to
Ms.
report.
McCall has anything, but, Friday's the deadline. By 5 o'clock Friday, Ms. McCall will be here to accept the
Here on
last.
Friday? When, oh, because we have to be here.
Well, can we turn the application in
Yeah,
right now?
By Friday.
Friday.
But, well, we can turn it right now.
Anyway, we've done our best to advertise it, things on the boards, on the website. So,
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Okay, closing out agenda item 5K and moving on to 6 adjournment. It is 7:56. Thank you, everyone.
you joined us, me.
I did.
Sir.
Thank you, Gail. I'm closing out now.
You're with, no, I know you.